I want to talk a little bit about the future of beauty. And I'm not talking about the future that you might predict, but rather the future that you might create. You, as a manufacturer, as a brand owner, as a distributor, as a producer, maybe as a retailer or a professional, are the choices that you make that are going to determine what the future trajectory is for our industry. So we're going to talk about 5 steps that we can take now to start shaping a future that works. Before I begin, however, I want to argue that right now is an ideal time to start thinking about the future, because when the rules change, it creates opportunities for those who are willing to think differently and shape what comes next. Let's talk a little bit about the rules changing. Let's start off by not talking about beauty or business, but let's talk about sports, and let's talk about NBA basketball players. If we look at the average height of the last 5 NBA most valuable players over the course of time, what we see is that in 1960, the average height was a little over 80 inches. And if we follow the trend going forward, and so what I did was for each of these years, I took the last 5 NBA most valuable players, I measured what their average height was, and what we can see is a very clear trend that they're getting taller and taller and taller. But look what happens in the next 5 years. Suddenly, they are shorter. Is this a blip? Is it an anomaly? Actually, no. If we play through it, what we see is not only are they shorter, but they're actually continue getting shorter. It is as if, in fact, it is indeed that the trend reverses itself. Now, what happened? Well, what happened was the rules changed. In 1979, the NBA introduced the three-point shot, which gives you 3 points if you shoot from further away from the goal. And some players adapted, some did not. Some teams adapted, others did not. Now, in the beauty industry, we're not facing one three-point shot. We're facing a whole number of three-point shots. Changes in the nature of competition, in customer needs, in technology that are putting us on the cusp of a moment in which we can decide how do we want to play the game, whether we want to adapt to a new game that is emerging. Let's take a little look at some of the trends that have been shaping the beauty industry. So certainly there have been changes in consumer preferences, particularly from younger generations, Gen Z, Gen Y. There have been digital transformations that have shaped the industry, not only on the customer experience, but across the entire value chain. We have greater demand and capability to deliver personal products and hyper personalization. We have artificial intelligence combined with big data, combined with platform business models that are allowing us to do new things with technology. And then when you arm that with IoT connected devices that feed data into this new capability, it changes how we're able to sense and respond to customer demands and needs. There's a greater demand for sustainability, for green beauty, not only along the supply chain and from customers, but also our investors are demanding more sustainable business models and manufacturing capabilities. Digital identities are becoming more important as we spend more time interacting with people through a digital interface and our avatars sometimes. What does it look like? And there are companies that are exploring what it looks like to deliver beauty to your Zoom screen, to your avatar. You have a move towards holistic beauty, where we're looking not only at the physical beauty, but deep down at the emotional, the beauty, the mind. And we've got advances in skincare through microbiome advances, and even 3D printing is starting to show itself in the beauty industry. So many of these industries I'm seeing, many of these trends, I'm seeing across many different industries. There are some specific ones, but these kind of introduction of many changes into the industry has been underway for quite a long time. And what has COVID done? COVID hasn't introduced new trends as much as it has accelerated these trends that have already been underway. And so the question for us to ask is, how do we want to play the game? Do we want to keep playing the game the way we have been playing it, or do we want to learn a new game? Do we want to keep going over the high bar forward, which is the way that people jumped over high bars before 1968, until a gentleman named Dick Fosbury famously goes over backward in 1968 and changes the game? How do you want to play the game? Again, it's not just about adapting to the game, it is about shaping the game.